OnSong lets you perform without distractions to give you complete control over the stage. Whether you press a foot pedal, tap the screen, or use MIDI, you can completely control OnSong the way you need with over 100 actions. The new Actions Editor gives you one place to assign actions to foot pedals, screen taps, and MIDI input. You can access the Actions Editor by tapping on the gear icon in the menu bar, and then choosing Editors, and then Actions. But the easiest way is to just tap on this foot pedal icon in the menu bar. The Actions Editor features tabs at the bottom to let you configure different kinds of triggers. Here we have foot pedals for performing actions from wireless foot pedals and remote controls, screen for configuring taps on the screen such as hot corners and navigation zones, and MIDI for assigning MIDI inputs to perform actions. Let's start with foot pedals. Here we can swipe through the various foot pedals you can use with OnSong. Once you've found your pedal, tap on the pedal on the screen or press the foot switch on the floor to open the Actions menu. The top two options are Default and None. Foot pedals typically have default actions assigned to them, like scroll up and scroll down. If we pick None, we can force the foot pedal to have no function. Now let's take a look at the Actions menu to see how it's organized. The menu is divided into sections that represent different categories of actions. The first category is navigation, since that's one of the more common ones we will use. The rest of the categories are sorted alphabetically. Now, within each section, we have things that we can affect. These are all nouns. Under each noun is a list of verbs. This allows us to drill into a specific action we want to set. For instance, if we want to scroll to the next song, we would go to Navigation, then tap on Song, and choose Next. Once we select the action, a check mark appears next to it. The Actions menu is divided into the following categories: navigation for controlling the song viewer to scroll up and down, or to move through songs in a set, or even load specific songs or sets from our library. Audio for controlling the playback of backing tracks. Auto scroll for toggling linear automatic scrolling and non-linear timeline on and off. Devices is for setting the brightness of your screen or system volume. Gears for using multiple actions on a single foot pedal by shifting gears. Lyrics projection for running lyrics right from the stage by controlling the currently displayed lyrics as well as having control over the background colors and media. MIDI for integrating with instruments or effects pedals by sending MIDI events or MIDI clock. Media for controlling the playback of background videos including their visibility and volume levels. Messaging for sending custom messages to connected devices or screens. Metronome for toggling a click track on and off, as well as adjusting parameters like tempo. Scenes for loading and playing background videos or stage lighting presets. Transpose for applying capos or changing keys during a performance. And user interface for controlling and altering the user interface without touching the screen. We don't have time to go over every action that's available, but you can always learn more in our user manual by going to onsongapp.com/docs/features/actions. Now let's wrap up this video by covering the other two tabs in the Actions Editor. Tap on the MIDI tab. Here we have a blank list of MIDI triggers. To set a trigger, we can have OnSong listen for MIDI input, or we can manually add the MIDI event by tapping on the plus button here. For instance, here we can add a control change event by choosing the control type and then choosing the control change to listen for. Once this is in the list, we can tap on it to set an action. Since we've selected a variable control change, we have a few more options than the standard actions list. You see, most actions that are performed are from momentary triggers, like the press of a button or a tap on the screen. Control changes can carry a variable value. This value can then be used to perform the action. For instance, we can set this control change to adjust screen brightness by going to this option under Device. Now when we turn a knob on our MIDI device, the screen brightness adjusts between 0 and 100%. You can just imagine the powerful combinations you can design by integrating with all your MIDI equipment. Keep in mind that you can also use actions to send MIDI back to your equipment too. Lastly, let's tap on this Screen tab to be shown a graphic of the OnSong screen. We see the screen is divided into 9 areas. Tap on one of the 4 corners to open the Actions menu. Here we can choose an action to be performed when this hot corner is tapped. Hot corners have no default action. Navigation zones are located at the edges of the song viewer. You could tap on the left or right to go to the next or previous song. Likewise, you could tap on the top or bottom to scroll up or down. These are default actions, so you could tap on these on this screen to set a different action. We can also tap in the middle of the viewer. Usually this is used to toggle the menu bar visibility. We could turn that off by setting the action to none. There's a few more tricks on this screen. For instance, we could tap over here where the Songs menu would be to configure how we want the Songs menu to behave. Likewise, we could tap on this menu bar area in the graphic to change the menu bar preferences. I hope that gives you some ideas of how you can configure OnSong for awesome on-stage performances. If you have any questions, please be sure to reach out to us at onsongapp.com/support.